So one of the great concerns you might have if starting orthodontic care is, how can you ensure long-term success? Well, that's why your orthodontist will suggest follow-ups, maybe year after year. That's why they advise retainers for you. But sometimes even the perfect patient can have a relapse, and that's okay. That's what Zamiris is here to talk about today. So Zamiris, we actually talked with you a couple of years ago about your first visit, your first treatment with Dr. Chang. At the time, Dr. Chang was treating you for an open bite underbite. Is that correct, Dr. Chang?
Yes.
And you did everything right. Dr. Chang said you were the perfect patient. But now you're back again, but undergoing different treatment with a different doctor. Tell me about that.
So I got my braces off and everything was great. And then I started noticing my bite wasn't closing the same as it was, and like spaces kind of showing up where they weren't before. And, I was like, okay, well, I'm wearing my retainer. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, going for my normal checkups. And so why was this happening? So Dr. Chang suggested that I go to myofunctional therapy. She spent her time working on tongue placement, doing different exercises to kind of help guide my tongue to where it should be resting, which I didn't know it was supposed to be sitting on the roof of your mouth. So complete new territory to me.
Because we don't think about where we're placing our tongue when we're talking, eating, breathing. You don't think about that kind of thing.
You don't. And so it was really a new experience because I didn't know I was swallowing wrong. I didn't know I was chewing wrong, or I didn't really know that the general way I was functioning, in everyday life with, as far as the mouth movements and things like tongue movements like that, was incorrect. And it kind of slipped past because a lot of the normal signs would be a lisp, not pronouncing, S's, R's, T's, certain consonant and vowel sounds a certain way, mouth breathing, or, just generally sitting, with your mouth open. My mother was very much a stickler for etiquette. So I went to etiquette school, elocution lessons, all of that. So no one ever knew that was an issue until now.
Until now,
yeah.
And so Dr. Chang, this is a perfect example of what you talk about often with a whole body approach to care. I mean, Zamiris was here for her bite. And now, years down the road, now she's in therapy for tongue movement. Elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so Zamiris' case is a very classic case where the resting tongue position was abnormal. Our tongue should be able to go to the palate to have a palatal resting position, but time to time we have patients where the tongue likes to rest on the lower arch. Therefore, it's able to have a lot of pressure on the lower front teeth. And in this particular case, her previous bite was underbite, and that was the type of a relapse that we were experiencing throughout the initial few months after removing the braces. So there's a thing, orthodontists, we can change the structure, however, we cannot change the function. And the function here was clearly the resting, an abnormal resting tongue position, and we decided to change that. And along with the functional therapy, the myofunctional therapy, Zamiris had to go through the process of a frenulotomy, which is the tongue tie release, to create the enough room or for the tongue to be able to stretch enough to go to the roof of the mouth with ease, without any hesitation.
Okay. So if a patient is concerned about, what if they hear this story and they're thinking, well, what if I just want to go in for braces and then I find out that I need this done and this done. Do you have any advice to ease their mind?
Yes, there's no shortcut. We need to always target the etiology, the very same reason why you have malocclusion or bite problems to begin with. So just targeting teeth is clearly not the way to go. We need to look at the reasons. At times we need to request the help of an ENT doctor if there's any nasal obstruction, myofunctional therapists of course, even optometrists, because your vision may also dictate the way how you walk, and with that creates several postural problems and affect in certain way in the perpetuation of let's say facial asymmetry. Also here the tongue-tie release is crucial in the for patients having a resting tongue position problems.
Okay. And Zamiris, you actually said that this myofunctional therapy has been life-changing for you. How?
Well, in so many ways. It started with just the general pressure I had a lot in my jaw area. A lot of that was relieved with the initial braces treatment and having the underbite corrected. And then a lot of it also was I had pressure just sitting, you know, from not holding my tongue properly. It created a lot of pressure in my jaw, which, you know, whenever you study anatomy, all of it's connected. Tongue, neck, head, spine, posture, all of that is literally like a string connected to each other. And so when I had my frenectomy and I started going through myofunctional therapy, I was sleeping better. I had less tension headaches. My vision would, you know, improve because I wasn't having that pressure behind my eyes anymore. I was sleeping soundly like a baby. So everything just kind of released in a sense. And I guess that's why they call it a tongue-tie release. It's a very apt name because it releases everything. And I don't have headaches, and, you know, unless my ponytail's too tight, but, you know, or I sleep weird, but, you know, I don't have issues with anything regarding my posture or anything anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, life-changing.
And Dr. Chang, do you have a message for other orthodontists, other physicians in other fields? Do they realize this kind of full body approach of how all of these things can be so interconnected, all of these functions of our body?
I think as time goes by, we realize that you know, whatever discipline we are practicing is impossible to really help the patient to achieve their health goals without asking the help, the inclusion of other disciplines, as our body is fully connected. I think nowadays more and more healthcare providers, regardless of their disciplines, are realizing that. And in Dallas, of course, I see that more doctors are inquiring about frenulectomies. More doctors are you know, putting the links together between orthodontics and the airway problem, and myself included. I just see so much value in having working together with the ENT doctors, for example, working together with functional physical therapists and even optometrists.
Fantastic. Okay, last thing before we leave. Last time we spoke with Zamiris 2 years ago, you were pursuing medical school. And now, today you've told me you have 2 exciting updates.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I'm finally going back to campus. So I've completed a year of medical school so far. And then thank you, and I am now engaged. So a lot of positive changes going on in my life, and it all started with meeting Dr. Chang and all the treatment. It was like the pinnacle changing point. Yeah.
I do have a question for you, Zamiris.
Yes.
The second round of orthodontic treatment was ended about a year ago, or a little less?
Say December of 2020.
December of 2020. So we have already, you know, passed 8 months, right? Mm-hmm. Since then till now, do you experience any major changes?
No, everything is pretty much, from when you took the braces off till now, has been the same.
But the first time we finished braces on you, I remember having you on the first retainer checkup appointment. A month later, I saw changes.
Yes.
The second month, I saw more changes.
Yes.
But on the second time, when everything was done, the changes were very, very minimal to non-existent.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. So every time there's a relapse, I think we need to think outside of the of the box. Sometimes maybe the tongue, sometimes maybe the breathing, or sometimes the anatomy, the poor anatomy of teeth that keeps us having a different contact. Whatever the issue is, thinking of retention solely from the mechanical perspective. If I wear the retainers properly, my teeth will not move. I personally feel there's a big misconception behind that.
Perfect. Thank you for adding that, Dr. Chang. And thank you for sharing your case again with us, Zamiris.
Of course, anytime.
Thank you so
I'm
much,
glad to be
Zamiris.
here. Thank you so much.